As part of a new segment to the show called the Compass Literature Corner, we will be talking to local authors and writers who have had an impact on this region, or whom this region has had an impact on. This week's guest is not only a Big Stone County Commissioner, but most recently he's a cafe proprietor and master of an omelet, as told in his recently published book, The Inadvertent Cafe. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to say that today's guest is Brent Olson. Brent, welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
So Brent, why don't you tell me a little bit about how the Inadvertent Cafe came to be?
I was part of a group of people who were trying to get a cafe refurbished in my hometown as a venue for doing local value-added foods. And I applied for a Bush Foundation Leadership Fellowship. Oddly enough, I was awarded one. And at some point in the process, my wife turned to me and said, "Well, buddy, you better learn how to cook because I've got a job." So that's how I started it, and that's how the cafe got its title, because when people would ask me what I was doing now, I would say I'm inadvertently running a cafe.
So now this is one of 5 books, correct?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about why this differs from your other 4 books.
I have a syndicated column called Independently Speaking, which I've been writing for just about 20 years. I'm up over 1,000 columns now. And the other 4 books were collections of columns and a few essays written just for the books. This book is different in that it's kind of a combination memoir and business advice book. Working as a journalist, I've been to just about 20 countries on 6 continents. And what I found fascinating was that the lessons I was learning about people and business and do-gooders, those same lessons held true whether I was in Uganda or Peru or New Zealand or Clinton, Minnesota. And I thought, well, maybe there's a book there.
Small town mentality is small town mentality no matter what question you are.
And people are people.
Exactly. Now tell us what's harder, writing a book about this grant process or going through and getting the cafe off the ground?
I would say equally difficult. I mean, I'm a writer. I was confident that I could do the book. The stakes were a little lower because, if you burn someone's eggs, you can just start over with 2 new eggs. Both of them involve a significant exposure of your ego to ridicule. So that was a commonality between the two, is the fear of humiliation.
Even though you were fearing humiliation, what surprised you while you were doing this? Maybe it was a skill set you picked up or something like that.
A line I use all the time is something my sister once told me. She says, every now and then it's important that you do something that terrifies you. And I believe that. I think that's the only way you keep growing is by trying things that you don't think you can do. And I never thought of myself as a cook, but I bought a copy of Mark Bittman's cookbook called How to Cook Everything. And I spent about 3 months practicing on my wife. I did all the...
Oh.
Yeah. She'd come home from work sometimes. I'd see a little bit of fear in her eyes, and she'd say, "What's for supper?" And I'd say,
"What am I eating today?"
Yeah, I'm saying I still have omelet issues, and but no, I'm okay. It's something I didn't think I could do, and now I can do it. So
that's wonderful. So what about a small town cafe, a staple of any farming community, is so important for this specific book?
For one, the reason the Bush Foundation was interested in it as a theory, the reason they were willing to put fellowship money into it, is that if the concept worked, if you could cover the overhead running as a cafe and then have a licensed commercial kitchen available for people who want to do value-added foods, if I could make that concept work, there's 1,000 small-town cafes or school kitchens or church kitchens where this could be replicated.
That's true.
And it's a big deal, because you look at an example I give would be salsa. All our salsa comes from 1,000 miles away, but every ingredient to make the best salsa in the world, we can grow it right here.
And we do a lot of times.
And we do. And so I have no issue with people in California or Texas having jobs, but I would rather people in Big Stone County have a job, you know. And so that was why I put myself through all this.
Speaking of the people of Big Stone County,
Yeah.
all the characters that walk into your cafe, are they real?
Not only are they real, I use their real names.
Are they a little bit worried about that?
Well, everyone who knows me, most of the people I know won't even talk to me because I'm always looking for my next column. But conversations have a tendency to trail off into silence when I come up to them. But
They don't want to be quoted.
that's right. But no, everyone has been. I think they kind of liked it. I think.
What kind of response outside of the people of Big Stone County did you get from your audience? Were you worried that they'd read it as a critique of small town living, cafes, things like that, and that this would cause your book to fail when it was released?
I don't think you can do that as a writer. I think you just have to write the damn book. Because if you spend too much time worrying about what people are going to think about it, you're going to start lying to yourself. And whereas it's perfectly fine to lie to the reader, as a writer you can never lie to yourself because then you're a bad writer. So I tried not to think about what the reception would be.
So now, The Inadvertent Cafe, Lessons in Life, Business, and the Limited Value of Being a Do-Gooder. Where did this subtitle come from?
Actually, I was riding on a bus with a bunch of journalists in Uganda, and a journalist from Northern Ireland named Chris, who doesn't drink beer and whose favorite meal is sushi, which is really another series of stories. Spoke really unflatteringly of do-gooders that he had run across in his life. And I've always sort of been a do-gooder, but I knew what he was talking about. And as a species, sometimes we make as many problems as we solve. So that was something else I addressed in the book.
You mentioned that this Inadvertent Cafe is kind of a template that can be spread and used and reused throughout country, throughout states, throughout wherever you are. What do you hope comes from this? How do you hope people build off of this?
The cafe serves two purposes right now. Number one, it's the economic purpose. But Richard Florida wrote a book called The Rise of the Creative Class. And one of the things he said is that if you look at areas that prosper, they're areas where interesting people want to live because there's things for them to do. Mm-hmm. And in the process of living there, they create jobs for themselves and for others. And that's the other aspect of the Inadvertent Cafe, is that I'm trying to not only provide food for bodies, but for souls as well. To provide a gathering space for people that make this, a little nicer place to live.
If people would like to pick up your book, where can they find it?
Well, wherever you buy books, I think. Amazon sells it, I know for sure. Bookstores, they go to my website, independentlyspeaking.com. They can order it right from me, and then I'll sign it,
Go online and check it out yourself. That's it for us in the Compass Literature Corner. Tune in next week for more people, places, and issues facing our viewing area. I'm Pioneer's Laura K. Prosser, and may your compass always point you in the direction of a good book.
Major support for Compass is provided by the ongoing support of the Leo P. Flynn Estate of Millbank, South Dakota. Additional support is provided by the Southwest Minnesota Private Industry Council, promoting Southwest Minnesota as a place rich with opportunity. Come for the jobs, stay for the lifestyle. More information at swmnpic.org.